reformers all over America. She's a reformer. She took on a governor who was a member of her own party when she ran for governor. When she was ahead of their Energy and Natural Resources Board, she saw corruption. She resigned. And said, this can't go on. She's given money back to the taxpayers. She's cut the size of government. She negotiated with the oil companies and faced them down a $40 billion pipeline, natural gas, that's going to relieve the energy needs of the of what they call the lower 48. She's a reformer through and through. And it's time we had that breath of fresh air coming into our nation's capital and sweep out the old boy network and the cronyism that's been so much a part of it that I've fought against for all these years. She'll be my partner. She understands reform. And by the way, she also understands special needs families. She understands that autism is on the rise. But we got to find out what's causing it. We've got to reach out to these families and help them and give them the help they need as they raise these very special needs children. She understands that better than almost any American that I know. I'm proud of her, and that she has ignited our party and people all over America that have never been involved in the political process. And I can't tell you how proud I am of her and her family. Her husband's a pretty tough guy, by the way, too.
Do you think she's qualified to be president?
You know, I think that's going to be up to the American people. I think that obviously she's a capable politician who has, I think, excited a base in the Republican Party. And I think it's very commendable, the work she's done on behalf of special needs. I agree with that, John. I do want to just point out that autism, for example, or other special needs, will require some additional funding if we're going to get serious in terms of research. That is something that every family that advocates on behalf of disabled children talk about. And if we have a across-the-board spending freeze, we're not going to be able to do it. That's an example of, I think, the kind of use of the scalpel that we want to make sure that we're funding some of those programs.
Do you think Senator Biden is qualified?
Well, I think that Joe Biden is qualified in many respects, but I do point out that he's been wrong on many foreign policy and national security issues, which is supposed to be his strength. He voted against the first Gulf War. He voted against it, and obviously we had to take Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait, or it would have threatened the Middle Eastern world supply. In Iraq, he had this cockamamie idea about dividing Iraq into three countries. We're seeing Iraq united as Iraqis. It's tough, hard, but we're seeing them. We're now about to have an agreement for status of forces in Iraq coming up. There are several issues in which, frankly, Joe Biden and I openly and honestly disagreed on national security policy, and he's been wrong on a number of the major ones. But again, I want to come back to, you know, notice every time Senator Obama says, we need to spend more. We need to spend more. That's the answer. Why do we always have to spend more? Why can't we have transparency, accountability, reform of these agencies of government? Maybe that's why he's asked for sought and proposed $860 billion worth of new spending, and wants to raise people's taxes in a time of incredible challenge and difficulty and heartache for the American
Let's go to a new topic here. We're running a little behind.